it's more of like a wellness check. Like, how has this year been for you? You know, being home as opposed to you know, traveling and on the road performing.
It's been different, you know. Uh, like it's the first time in like 15 years that, you know, I haven't stopped until now, you know. I mean, stop in the fact that I wasn't like flying and moving to different places, but when it comes to work, I was working more than ever in the studio, you know, and being more creative. But it's definitely, I was asking myself, like, how does it feel to be on stage now? Because I definitely forgot, you know, like, I don't know how's the feeling that I basically forgot how's the feeling to be on stage, you know, because it was something that we used to do almost every day, you know, and now with what's going on, I know it's gonna take at least 6-7 months more, you know, to go back to be, you know, in touch with real, to see real people, you know, to see them physically there, you know. So it's been weird times, you know, it's been weird times, but man, you know, I think it was the light is coming up now, you know, again, and we see a better future, and the sneakers are coming. That's positive. So yeah, man, you know, it's been a different time, you know, weird times.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, I feel like, you know, like your fans have been able to like engage with you differently. I mean, you know, like they might not be able to like go to MSG and see you, you know, which is a sold out show, but, you know, but they get to like learn more about you through like, you know, like these videos and the collaboration too, and just about like your style. So yeah, you know, I just want to hear more about like your love for sneakers, for fashion, for style as well. You know, like you've been like a huge, like you've really expressed yourself through like what you wear, and it's made that, you know, like even today with the Tupac tee, you know, like there's like you have a really, really dope style. You know, I just wanted to hear more about, just to hear more about like your love for fashion and
Yeah,
sneakers.
I mean, since I was a kid, you know, my mom used to do whatever she wants with me, like in the fact that she used to like try this, try that, you know, like, oh, I'll put this hat on you, you know, try these sneakers if you like it, you know, like, and I like end up liking it, you know, and then the more I was growing up, I started like looking what I wanted, and I became, you know, a sneakerhead, you know, like I used to do the lines for Jordans, you know, and that's why this means a lot to me, because just reminiscing those time, you know, that time where I used to be in Miami, uh, at Shoe Gallery doing the line, or in Queens doing the line for Jordans, you know, or begging someone to, you know, to do the line for me, you know, or calling someone like, yo, you have the plug to get these sneakers. And now, you know, have my own sneaker is just crazy. And about the fashion is just like, I don't know if I have a style or not, but I just think that it's all about to feel comfortable with yourself. You know, it's like music. You know, there's people that connect with your music. There's people that doesn't connect with you. It's the same with everything that is creative. You know, and to me, fashion or style, it's a way to express yourself as music, as art. You know, and that's what I'm trying to connect with people with different ways. You know, like maybe if you like me, if you might like my music but don't like my style, or you might like my style and don't like my music. You know, there's ways to connect to the world. You know, and basically connecting with sneakers right now, it's one of my biggest dreams. You know, because it's gonna be like a legacy. You know, like I'm the first Latino ever to do a Jordan 1 collab. You know, and that means a lot for the community, because like as Latino, of course, I feel that I'm a global citizen, but all the Latinos are so proud of this move, you know, and basically all Latinos are sneakerheads too, you know, and they always find the ways to have them, you know. Like I see people in Colombia just like, what's up, man? What are we gonna do? So shout out to Reggie, and you know, like I see a lot of people feeling the love, and I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful, and yeah, I'm just trying to be me, and that's it. Trying to be me.
Cool. Before we talk about the collaboration, I just want to hear about, like your own history with Jordan. Like, what was your first pair, and how did your collection grow?
My first pair was Jordan ones. That's what I have so much love for those. And more because I was born in 1985, and that's basically the first time the Jordan ones, they brought it to the streets. So it's like really, it's a beautiful connection there. The day I was born, the Jordan ones came out, and that was always been like the I love the threes, the fours, the 11s. Um, I love all of them, most all of them, but the ones were definitely the ones that really connect with me to be like, whoa, man, I love this. I love this vibe. I want to get to know more about sneakers and but I always was. I grew up with Nike and Jordan. Like I can't lie. And that's basically they. Every time I think about sneakers, I I remember moments of my life. When the Air Force Ones came out. The all whites and then all the different colors. Like I just love sneakers, man. I can, but definitely, my love is in Jordan.
Got you. So yeah, just want to hear more about the collaboration. Like, how did you pick the model? Like what's the story behind the color? And just like the details on there too. And also just a little bit of an ask. Um, um, if it's possible to answer this one in both English and in Spanish as well.
Yeah, it took us a couple of years. I think like 3 or 2 years to make this happen. Of course, first making the relationship, and showing that the love was real. Like it wasn't just because I just want to have a Jordan one. Like no, I'm really into it, and I always show the love. I was like, let's do this. Like. Uh, my friend Upskill, Mike Upskill, is my boy in New York that he really like taught me a lot about sneakers, and there was a lot of people behind, to follow and to make this dream come true. Of course, Reggie is the one who, make the whole moves to make them real. Um, but it was beautiful that, I started to see what I wanted, like shape, the shapes, like the vibration and the colors, because I just wanted to show like positive vibes on the sneaker, and something that was really outstanding because it was the first time a Latino's doing a sneaker, so I wanted to just that whenever you see them, those are the J Balvin, Jordan ones, and I always when I went to Portland, with the guys and vibing with them, and Milkman too, which is type. He's make part of my creative team. Uh, we were just like, let's try to do this, let's try to do this materials, like because it's denim, it's like a type of it's like a denim, and not try leather, we just wanted to switch it up, and make a statement, like a different, it's a Jordan one, but it has our flavor on it, and we went really out loud, like I'm I know what I wanted, like I didn't want it to be like super settled. No, I want it to be like, like whatever you see, then like those are the J Balvin ones, And it was in purpose, like I really know what I wanted. I wanted to make that statement of a Jordan one that looks completely different, but of course it's the same one, you know. And I wanted to tell my story about, good vibes and colors and energy. So that's why the shape is like this, because it has like vibration on it, it's like the good energy that is vibing all around the sneaker, and the colors, just to show, that it's made for everyone, like it's tolerance, it's it's love. It makes you feel happy when you see them, and proud to be Latino and be the first one to do it.
Cool. Could we answer that question again in Spanish as well?
Sí, pues la idea que llevamos como 2 años o 3 buscando la manera de hacer estos tenis y los Jordan 1 y queríamos hacer algo diferente. Queríamos realmente mostrar que no era como que simplemente ganas de tener unos Jordan y ya, sino realmente algo que marca la diferencia como latino y como ciudadano del mundo, y quería hacer, por eso la forma que es como medio triangular en los bordes, es porque muestra como las vibras, y los colores son intensos porque queríamos mostrar eso, como que para los gustos los colores, y a la vez mostrar algo de inclusión, de tolerancia, que es para todo el mundo. Fue un proceso largo, fuimos a Portland con mi equipo creativo, con Milkman, hablando con Upscale, Mike Upscale, con todo el equipo de Reggie, Jordan, trabajando como en la textura, en cómo hacer que los colores se quedaran y que cuando se desgasten quedaran mucho más brutales. Buscamos toda la manera de hacer algo que llamara la atención, y fue con todo el propósito de hacerlo así, como de que cualquier persona que lo viera de lejos diría, esos son los Jordan de J Balvin, ¿no? Como algo que sobresaliera. Y creo que lo logramos. O sea, la gente inmediatamente ve a alguien, o pues me ve a mí con ellos puestos, y la gente es como que, wow, ¿cuáles son esos? ¿De dónde salen? Y se siente el cariño fuera.
Cool. Thank you. My next question was just about, you have your first speaker, you're the first Latino artist to collaborate on a Jordan 1. You're also performing the sneakers at the Super Bowl, which was a colossal moment. I just wanted to hear, like, what was that experience like? What are your feelings about that show?
I mean, it was crazy because that actually was the first time too that, Latinos were at the Super Bowl. So I remember that I called Reggie. I was like, yo, this is the moment to show the world the Jordans, like this is the time. Of course, we didn't know that COVID was coming, and the idea was to create that hype that day, and then, take them out on the streets, but everything changed with COVID, which it was good because at the end of the day, this is like we're finishing the year, and it's gonna be like brighter, with good vibes, and was really happy, to perform the Super Bowl, and the whole move there was just beautiful, like that day I had my first collab with Takashi Murakami at the first time I showed my Jordan 1s, and the fact that we were on one of the biggest, TV, we can say a TV show, of course, because it was people singing and of course people playing, people watching it, it was a really nice moment for the whole culture, and more, of course, to show these Jordans and show to the world and show that, this is not luck, this is hard work, this is sacrifice, this is, get up early and go late to bed, having the vision of make a statement.
Once again, hey Jose. So we're gonna jump into Spanish questions for this next portion.
Claro.
So, entonces, ¿qué representa esta colaboración entre tú y Air Jordan como artista, amante de sneakers y como una persona creativa?
Representa muchísimo en todos los sentidos, como artista, obviamente, porque es una forma de expresarme por medio de mi música y plantarlo dentro de unos Jordan 1s. Como latino, me siento más que orgulloso de ser el primer latino de tener una colaboración oficial, especialmente de una forma y de una silueta como la más icónica, que es el Jordan 1. Como ciudadano del mundo, creo que estoy muy feliz porque es una forma de conectar con el planeta, si vibran o no vibran con mi música, van a vibrar con los tenis, ¿sabes? Como que hay una forma más de conectar por medio de la creatividad y obviamente de este mundo del sneakerhead. Entonces, significa, es como ganar una copa, ¿no? Es como que, wow, es algo que le contaré a mis hijos el día que tenga hijos y decirle, wow, mira, tu padre fue el primero en tener unos Jordan 1 y explicarle la historia, explicarle cómo funcionaron. Y creo que ya obviamente es algo que ya será escrito, ¿no?
Claro. Oiga, en tu carrera ha sido obviamente muy importante tener resonancia, como tú dices, con la cultura. Entonces, también, ¿qué significa esta colaboración tanto como para tus fans, para Colombia y para Sudamérica en general?
Es que tú sabes que como latinos también nos encantan a todos los tenis, ¿no? Los sneakers. Y es algo que es como, ni se la cree ni me la creo yo, ¿sabes? Porque es como que algo que se veía, algunos lo veían imposible, yo siempre lo vi posible, pero está brutal, o sea, ver el orgullo de cada latino de diferentes países escribiéndome, diciéndome cómo hago, los quiero, como hace poco estaba en un estudio en Los Ángeles y se me acercó un mexicano y me dijo, oye, ¿qué se siente tener tus propios Jordan 1, ¿no? Y me quedé también como en shock porque sabemos lo que significa para los latinos, los que nos gustan los tenis también, lo que es una silueta como esta y estar en la marca Jordan. So, está brutal. Yo creo que, como te digo, es como que los latinos ganamos un campeonato ahí.
Claro. Y desviándonos un poquito de los Jordans, porque obviamente sabemos que ya tienes 13 nominaciones para el Latin Grammy este año. Felicitaciones por tu álbum Colores. Y tienes más nominaciones que Bad Bunny y Ozuna, que también son grandes en el género. ¿Cómo te sientes al respecto de eso?
Me siento muy bien y muy agradecido porque todavía seguimos conectando con el público, ¿no? Porque igual ya llevamos unos 10 años dándole música al mundo y reinventándonos en las generaciones. No soy de la generación vieja, pero sí como que quedé en la mitad, ¿no? Entonces, como seguir activo y seguir vigente junto a mi parcerito Bad Bunny, que hoy en día pues obviamente es uno de los más grandes dentro del género y está muy bonito ver cómo seguimos ahí luchando todos, Ozuna, todos los colegas, seguimos luchando y agradecido porque nada, rompimos un récord con esto de los Grammy. Es la primera vez que un artista es nominado 13 veces en un solo certamen y está brutal, ¿no? Está brutal arriesgarse, porque el año pasado no quisimos ir a los Grammys porque no nos habían dado ese lugar y pensé que este año no nos iban a nominar por el mismo sentido que hicimos como hacernos sentir, pero valió la pena pero fue la música finalmente la que nos permite seguir conectando con el mundo.
Gotcha. So, yeah, very last question that we have was just, this is your first sneaker collaboration with Jordan. Are there more sneakers coming soon? Are there more on the way? Or?
Already pressuring Reggie already was next, like I can be like, yo, let's do this, let's go. Let's try these lows in a different way and let's do, whatever shape you guys want to give me. I'm going to, we're going to stand out, we're going to make a difference, and we're ready, that's the dream, to keep showing that the love is real and, and I know the sales are going to be amazing. So, it's going to be a win-win for everybody.
Very cool. If there was another sneaker you would want to do next instead of the one, would it be a 3, 4, 11 or
3, 4? Okay. Damn. Oof. That's a good question, man. Threes? No, fours.
fourth?
Man, everybody, I love all of them. It's like, that's a hard question, like, man. yeah, you know, the 3, the 4, the 11, you know, we, you know, I'm down. Reggie knows I'm down. You know, we always down to keep creating, and I know this is the first drop we're doing, and I know it's gonna be really amazing when it comes to connection to the world and making a statement, and that's translate to sales. You know, I know they're gonna be sold out in minutes. You know, so let's go. You know, let's keep elevating the culture. Let's keep inspiring the new kids and the new generations to you know dream big and you know be a jump man.